Hello, good evening, everybody. This is Nick Reck, physical therapist at Rec Physio. And in light of the coronavirus and um, still being kind of flu season anyway, wanted to discuss some of the food choices and supplements that I like to take to try to help myself and my family be healthy. And I think that's seems like a lot of you were interested in that when I posted about it earlier this week, and it seems like a lot of people do a lot of the same things that I do. So that's great. To start off, I wanted to talk a little about a couple books that I think are awesome reads as far as nutrition and supplements. The first one is called Eating on the Wild Side by Joe Robinson. Um, Packed with information about the different types of vegetables and fruits and which ones are better. And it's all based on studies that she's gone through and then kind of put it into a book. And it's packed with information and an awesome read for anyone interested in nutrition. And then the second one would be Deep Nutrition by Shanahan. She goes into a lot of different things and is an awesome book as well. So wanted to plug those to start with. As far as nutrition and health, you want to start with the most simple things, and the most simple thing is making sure you're staying hydrated, drinking water, um, having it available during the day, and at night. I'll just put a glass of water on my nightstand, so that way it's there when I wake up in the morning, and I can just start my day off great by drinking water. Um, and then number two is eating your vegetables, just like Mama said, right? Um, you want to have a good variety. The more colors, the better. For a lot of vegetables, the thing that makes them colorful are antioxidants. So especially things that are like purple or red, the bright purples and reds, or the oranges, um, have the beta carotene or anthocyanin. They're different antioxidants and are super good for you. Like all the berries are very colorful. All berries are super good. Um, and trying to have half your plate be vegetables or fruit, and eating a little bit less of meat, having meat more as a side dish, and making sure you're getting the vegetables. Hi Teresa. Hi Grandma. Thanks for watching. Um, so that's that, and plus you're getting fiber with the vegetables, which helps keep you regular, which is always good too. Um, and then, so the next, a lot of people probably think about eating like chicken broth when they're sick, which is great. Um, and it's even better if you can make it yourself, because then they're not getting like the extra salt and things and preservatives that you might get in the store. I make my own chicken broth, and I put a link in the description here so you can check it out, how to make your own. But it has tons of nutrients, but you're also getting the collagen and the cartilage that's been dissolved into that. So it's really great if you have arthritis, and especially the beginnings of arthritis. I would definitely recommend bone broth, and then when you're sick too, with all the nutrients and minerals and vitamins in it, it's definitely great for that as well. Um, and if you're more interested in kind of how to make it, I have a link and how to do that in the description of the video. So then the first supplement that I take regularly is magnesium. Magnesium is something that is vital to a lot of different functioning in our body, and especially for the production of ATP, which is just the kind of the energy molecule in our body that's needed for us to survive. And so if you're deficient in magnesium, the functioning is going to go towards making that energy. But it's really, magnesium is important for all sorts of enzymes, and including the enzymes that work to clear up our dead and damaged cells, and so which then can lead to cancer. So actually there was a study, and green leafy vegetables are very high in magnesium, and there was a study of men that ate, and it kind of broke them into a group of them that ate a lot of leafy greens, and then a group that ate less, and it showed that there's association of decreased risk of cancer. Okay, well, I'm not sure what happened there, but I was in the middle of talking about magnesium, so I guess I'll keep talking about magnesium. And so it's vital for a lot of different functioning, and associated, having a deficiency might be associated with an increased risk of cancer. Um, and your leafy greens, spinach, kale are going to be great. Leafy lettuce. One thing to note, your iceberg lettuce, it's really not going to have a whole lot of nutrients in it. It's a lot of water, and it might have some fiber, but as far as like being like the vitamin and mineral content, it's going to be pretty low. So just something to think about there. But then I do take a magnesium supplement. Um, there's a few different kinds of magnesium. Is magnesium citrate is one that I take, and it's actually in a product called Natural Calm, which actually can help you sleep better too. So if I'm having trouble sleeping, I'll take some of this at night. So, and that's magnesium citrate in that. Also, magnesium L-threonate is a really good option too. And the Natural Calm is a little bit of a mild laxative, so if you're having any troubles in that department too, that can help with that. Next, garlic and onions are super good for you. So you probably think about antioxidants associated with berries, but actually garlic and onions have a ton of antioxidants and are actually kind of a superfood. Garlic has this molecule that's produced when it's crushed or chopped called allicin, and it's the main antioxidant. And so it takes about 15 minutes for that to form after you chop or crush it. So if you're using garlic in a recipe, you just want to kind of try to plan ahead and chop it up or crush it, and then let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes before you cook it, so that allicin has a chance to be formed, and then you're going to get a lot more benefits from that. And again, the allicin has been shown to inhibit cancer cell growth in some studies. So, and then the same thing with onions, have a ton of vitamins and nutrients and a ton of antioxidants. So really trying to incorporate those a little bit into your cooking, into your diet, would be a great thing to do. Something we think about when we're sick is vitamin C. And oranges, grapefruit, citrus fruits have a lot of vitamin C as well as beta carotene. Just one thing to note, so oranges, everybody knows about the navel oranges, but there's also ones called cara, and there's blood oranges. The cara ones are a little bit darker orange, and so they have more beta carotene, which is an antioxidant, and blood oranges are purple. Basically anything that's purple is probably going to be more beneficial or better for you. Again, the thing that makes it purple is an antioxidant called anthocyanin. So they might be a little bit more expensive than the navel oranges, but you're going to get more nutrition and a little more health benefits from those. So something to keep in mind there. And again, any berry is going to be great for you. And in particularly elderberries. Elderberries have a ton of antioxidants, and again, they're kind of that bluish purple, so they're going to have the anthocyanin and antioxidants. You can actually buy a plant. So what I did is just it's like 10 or 20 bucks to buy a couple plants. There's different varieties, and they say that you want to have one variety of, so two separate varieties, so that when they pollinate, I guess they pollinate a little better. But I just have my own elderberry plant at my parents' house, or a couple of them, and so I pick them and just freeze the berries, and over winter I'll have like like 5 or 6 of them a day. So if you haven't seen an elderberry, it's just a small little bluish purple berry, and packed with antioxidants and super good for you. But the stems can be a little bit cause an upset stomach, so you just want to make sure that If you're freezing them or eating them, you don't want to eat the stems with it, or you can juice them or something like that. That'd be great. A few people tuning in. Hi, Danny. Hi, Tammy. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just drop a comment, and I can try to answer that while I'm talking here. Let's see. I'll just write a comment so I can see everybody. All right. So next thing is omega-3s. So as much as you can, eating fish is great for your omega-3, especially salmon. One thing you want to think about with eating fish is if it's some of the big predatory fish like tuna, they will actually be high in mercury. So your best bang for your buck when you're eating fish is going to be salmon, because it's going to have a lower amount of mercury and a higher amount of omega-3s. And omega-3s are really good for a ton of things, and in particular reducing your inflammation. It's been associated with decreased depression, improved cardiovascular disease, and reduced risk of cancer. So definitely want to get your omega-3s. For the most part, most Americans have way too much omega-6, which can be inflammatory. Omega-6 is found a lot with your vegetable oils, so you want to try to avoid those. And also eating a lot of chicken can be higher in omega-6. So salmon is a great option. Also salmon roe, or which is salmon eggs, have a ton of omega-3s. A company called Vital Choice, I think I have a link in the description that you can check that out if you want, is a great option for there. Cod liver oil is also really good. You want to try to, so EPA and DHA are the two most available forms of omega-3 for your body to absorb. So when you're looking at a supplement, you want a high amount of EPA and DHA. Around 2,000 milligrams per day is what you want to try to shoot for. So keep that in mind when you're buying products. And actually the Weston A. Price has a link that I'll post that has some options that are kind of the best and good options. Green Pastures, actually they're out of O'Neill, Nebraska, are really good. Radiant Life is a good brand. Droppy, NutriPro, and Rosita. But I'll post that link too. Flax and chia also have a ton of omega-3s, but they are in a form called ALA, which then has to be converted into EPA or DHA in the body. For most people, that conversion rate is about 10%. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking that you're getting a ton of omega-3s from flax or chia. You're going to get some for sure, but not as much probably as you think. So keep that in mind. Another supplement that I take almost every day is a probiotic. So our gut has trillions of bacteria in it that are beneficial and are needed for our functioning, and try to maintain the beneficial bacteria in our gut is something that's really good. So when you're looking for a probiotic, the one that I commonly use is called BioCult. It has about 14 different strains, and I think 2 billion cells per capsule. So that's what you kind of want to look for is a brand that has a good variety and also at least 1 or 2 billion bacteria per capsule. But that's in a gut that has trillions, so it's kind of a drop in the bucket, but it's a start. And to feed the bacteria that you already have just by eating vegetables is a great thing to do, and trying to eat fermented foods. You can easily ferment your own vegetables in a salt brine solution. I've posted about that before, and if anybody's interested, I can post that recipe. But yogurt, kombucha is a fermented tea, which is super simple to make and also tastes really good. Trying to add more fermented foods to your diet, as well as maybe take a probiotic supplement, is going to be good for anyone, especially if you have any digestive issues or things like celiac disease, where you're already or gluten intolerance or any sort of intolerance where your gut isn't functioning the best, having the more beneficial and good bacteria that you can, the better there. Um, and then vitamin D, you want to get sun exposure, but if you're not out in the sun around the noon hour or kind of an hour before or after in the summer, and then in the winter, that window where you're really getting the ability to produce vitamin D from the sun is going to be really reduced. So most people probably would benefit a lot from a vitamin D supplement. And for the best absorption, one that is D3 would probably be good. We get a lot of ours from a company called Public Goods, so that's something to look at. And vitamin D is super important for a ton of things in the body, from your immune function. Vitamin D is probably actually more important than vitamin C to have a good immune system. And then a ton of other things, and for the absorption of calcium and things like that. And I'll talk into a little bit about genetics at the end, but salmon and eggs are also a good source of vitamin D. Turmeric can be an anti-inflammatory. I take that occasionally. It can be, like I said, anti-inflammatory. But when you look at, if you want to get any, you're looking for a supplement. You want to get some that has piperine in it. You need the turmeric with the piperine in order for it to be absorbed correctly. And then propolis is a resin that bees make that is antifungal and antibacterial. So that's like a spray. That's something that you could think about if you're kind of worried about health thing or getting sick. Zinc I'll take once in a while if I'm feeling a little sick. And then essential oils we use a little bit. We'll use like thieves or frankincense are supposed to kind of help if you're boost your immune system or help if you're feeling sick. Something that I just started taking is this Juice Plus. I thought it was interesting because it's basically vegetables and berries that are juiced, and then the juice is dehydrated, so you're getting all the nutrients but without the sugar. And so I think that's a nice way to kind of gap kind of the deficiencies that we have, because most of us probably aren't eating enough vegetables. So we just started taking that, and especially like our son, he loves like eating eggs and macaroni, but getting vegetables, and he'll eat tons of berries, but actually getting his vegetables is really hard to do. And so they have some gummies for kids. But so what it is, it's just juiced vegetables and fruits, and then that juice is then dehydrated into a powder, and they're able to remove the sugar. So you're kind of getting all the phytonutrients and the micronutrients without the sugar, which I think is pretty awesome. So I'm kind of seeing how that goes. But then, like I said before, our genes play a role in whether and how well we're able to absorb and produce some nutrients. Vitamin B12, folate, omega-3, and vitamin D all have your either ability to absorb or ability to produce can depend on kind of the variants of genes that you have. So that's something to keep in mind. You're getting those genetic health tests is actually getting fairly cheap. I just did mine, and so what you can do is if you have a 23andMe or an Ancestry DNA test, you can take your raw data and a website called Found My Fitness. You can plug it into there, and if you subscribe to their channel, you can get it for free, which is like a monthly cost for that. But just to get the genetic report, I think it's $25, and that gives you a lot of really good information. Kind of gives you tons of stuff about your risk for developing Alzheimer's, the stuff I talked about, and kind of like your risk of tendonitis and kind of different things like that. How uh, some genes are associated with being able to get by with less sleep, and like me, I need to have 8 hours to probably function best, and that I kind of knew that already, and then that genetic test kind of said that also. So that's something to kind of to think about too. Um, so Dusty had a question: what type of vitamin D for breastfed babies? I think they do have like some droppers. Like I know we had Kelsey had, I don't remember what kind we had, but it was just a dropper, vitamin D. I could probably research that. I don't know any really off the top of my head what I would say there, but I can look into that a little bit, Dusty, and get back to you there. So, but if anybody else has any other questions, yeah, feel free to drop a comment. And if you just drop a comment and just say hi or something, the comments just help the Facebook algorithm send it to more people, so that's always good. Just be safe out there. Do your social distancing. Stay healthy. Get sleep. Sleep's another huge thing. Um, so thanks everybody for watching, and catch the replay if you weren't able to be on here live. So thanks everybody for watching. Have a good night and have a good weekend. Let's see if